So the last piece then we're gonna, I just wanted to cover real quick is then, when coming up with your plan. So, up to this point you've got your background information, your subjective objective has been picked because it's pertinent to the assessment that you made. Your assessment is taking that into account, and referencing that, and then, that really sets up your plan. So you should be able to look at your plan, and it should makes sense when looking at your assessment statement why your plan is the way that it is. Most of you aren't necessarily having trouble with the therapy, picking a therapy, doing that. So that's good. I think people are probably losing points with regard to your plan is more in the goal. So being specific, not just with like, okay, we want to get this under control, but like specific, what are the specific lab values what are those numbers, where do we want to see? If it's blood pressure, what's the goal blood pressure? If it's blood sugar, what's the goal blood sugar that we're trying to get the patient to? If there are, specific lab parameters that we're monitoring, what are they, and what are the specific numbers that we want to see, and what time frame. So So with this, being specific with our goals, and then kind of with our monitoring, being specific there too. So like, what are we going to be monitoring? When do we want to monitor that? And giving a time frame. So in a week, in 2 weeks, in 3 months, in 6 months, whatever that would be, and what's appropriate. Being specific with that monitoring. And then additionally with patient education, not just, we get a lot of like, okay, lifestyle, things like that, but, specifics on if you're starting or recommending starting a drug, like what is the information that you'd want to counsel on that medication. If the patient is going to be self-monitoring, what do they do, being specific, thinking through. So this is trying to help you get in the habit of thinking, how do I explain this to another human being that does not know what is going on here? What specific lifestyle things should they engage in? If they're monitoring with the device, like just making sure that you are aware that you'd have to potentially explain how to use that. But trying to be specific in education, related to the plan that you're developing or have recommended. So a lot of the education and counseling has been pretty vague, but really try to, thinking of the plan that you're implementing, get specific with the specific education that you're giving. So I'd say that with the plan piece is the large piece there, is specificity with goals, specificity with monitoring, time frames on that, specific numbers, not just getting somebody to goal or monitoring for blood pressure, but what do we want those numbers to be? When do we want to do that? If we're monitoring for side effects of medications, what is that? If we're monitoring for hypoglycemia, what is that the patient is actually going to be monitoring for, and then educating the patient on signs and symptoms of hypoglycemia. So really just trying to tie this all in and have it be a coherent document. That's where you want to get. And so then, as always, including references in here then at the end is going to be important, and really encouraging you to reference guidelines when possible. That would be very helpful. So hope this has kind of been a helpful overview. You have this document. When it comes to the case presentations, I'd encourage you, we did a lecture on that previously. Go back and review your notes from that lecture. With all these things, we have rubrics posted. So the thing I want to encourage you to do is, watch or review resources like this. Review the rubrics we're giving you. Review the feedback that you're being provided in the grading, and then, look at what you actually submitted and assess for next time. What am I going to do? What am I going to change? This is on you to kind of work through your process. This is not something that we can just tell you robotically, this is what you need to do, and just do this every time, because cases, scenarios change, and you've got to be flexible and have a a therapeutic and clinical thought process that's going to kind of help you see the big picture and then narrow in on what best to do in that situation or circumstance. So, some of that is you've just got to really take the feedback, apply the feedback, and get a process. So this document, the rubric for SOAP grading, you have that. The rubric for the case presentation, review that before putting your presentation together. Just make sure that you're checking the boxes or have given consideration to the different areas that you're going to be assessed on. I'm very confident if you do that, the points will come along. Again, this can be a frustrating process. There's a lot of growth in this, but we appreciate your time. We appreciate your concern, your care, and we know over time that you will improve. And this is just a part of the process. So hopefully that puts you at ease a little bit. Again, our heart in this is not to screw any students. It's really to help you in your development. So please understand as well that we are working behind the scenes and we are evaluating these things, and we are not out to get you. So we're here to help. This is a natural process, and we'll just kind of continue on. So hope this has been a helpful kind of video series. If you have questions, feel free to ask. But please do your due diligence before asking. So review the rubrics, review the feedback you've been giving, understand, changes or things you can make moving forward. If you still do not feel like you have clear guidance, then please reach out. But do those things first. I think that will be very beneficial to a lot of people. So thanks for your time. We'll see you in lab.